Kittley of Texas Tech, Mike Holloway of Florida, and Chris Johnson of Arkansas.
Michael Smith, Director of Track and Field, Northern Arizona. Excited to be at the Track and Field press conference. That means we're doing a good job. Usually it's the cross-country team. You can see us up here. Really excited to have a well-rounded track and field team heading into the championships. Thrilled to be in Boston. We don't get to compete here at the national level very often, so very excited to be here in this facility. Looking forward to a great weekend of competition.
Wes Kittley, Texas Tech University. Same here, very excited to be here in Boston. I've not been here before with the team, and we've had a really good year so far. We were very fortunate and had a good Big 12 championship. We've kept people pretty healthy all year long, and so we're looking forward to a really big meet this weekend, and hope we have a chance.
Mike Holloway, University of Florida. We're blessed, we're pleased to be here. We've had a great season. We just try to do what we always do and just kind of build throughout the year and be ready when it counts the most. And this is when it counts the most, so we're looking forward to a great weekend and great performances, not just by the Gators, but by everybody here.
Chris Johnson, University of Arkansas, women's track and field. Excited to be in Boston. What a wonderful city, a wonderful facility that we have here to go out and compete. Our team is doing fantastic. They've worked hard all year long to get to this point. So we're excited about the opportunity to go out here and compete against the very, very best in the country. And we're looking forward to this championship.
Thank you, coaches. Open it to questions of the media. Go ahead.
Question for Coach Chris. First off, congrats on getting the chance to be leading Arkansas at the NCAA's here. Just curious about how the transition and change has been kind of taking the helm at Arkansas this year.
Transition's been good. I mean, obviously there's a lot to learn and going about being actually the head coach, but been in Arkansas for 12 years now, so it seems seamless in a lot of ways. But excited about it. Excited about being first-year coach and being at national championships and ranked #1. And obviously a lot comes with that. But the transition's been good. The athletes have bought into the program and they're excited, and we're excited as well, and have a great staff. And they've kept me grounded and kept me on task, so we're looking forward to it.
Just like follow up, how does it feel to get the chance to work with your brother now at Arkansas?
Well, known him my whole life, so it's fantastic. Obviously, a dream come true for me, and I think as well as for him to be able to have the opportunity to work together. And obviously, he's a great coach and has been doing it for some time, so it helps me out a lot. And we work closely together as it pertains to sprints and hurdles. So, you know, you couldn't dream of a better story than being able to work with your brother at a prestigious school like Arkansas.
This is Jasmine Cities Meg. This is for Mike Smith. So how does your approach to competing and just mindset perspective, I guess, change from cross-country nationals to now indoor track nationals?
Yes, I would say entirely similar. We are always putting team performance in front of individual performances, just looking at how we can band together our assets to score the most points as possible. Typically, we're coming into this meet with a strong distance contingent. We're thrilled to bring triple jumper Mitchell Effing, weight thrower Garrett Burnt here, as well as a distance medley relay. So it's been feeling like much more of a rounded out, real team competition here, which is what we aspire to do. You know, the thing we've learned through the years in national championships and cross country is that anything can happen at championships. Crazy things happen here, and so much of it is about the mindset that the athletes have around competing for a team. When you're competing for something bigger than yourself, as soon as something goes wrong, you know, you always have something to fall back for. If you're not competing for something bigger than yourself in a championship, when anything happens, that's when it's easy to check out and feel sorry for yourself. So our athletes know what this is all about.
John Anderson, ESPN. Mike, so how do you go about sorting it out? Because in cross country, here's your 7 guys are all running the same distance. How do we sort out where you want to put them? And then they don't have quite that same team dynamic when they step on the track. How do you approach that with those kids? Yeah,
we just do an analysis of where we think we can maximize our point totals. We also do a deep analysis for competition and what we think our competitors will do across different events. Our entries this weekend are Devon is to score those most points as possible in the championships.
Ashley Titians with FloTrack. This question's for Coach Kittley. You alluded to this in your opening remarks, but your men's program is coming off of a huge performance at Big 12s. What have you been telling your guys, in those weeks since then, leading up to these championships, and helping them remain confident and focused on the job here in Boston?
Yeah, number one is don't change anything. I tell them to do what got them here, and that's what they're going to hear tonight in the team meeting. It's so, we all know it's a national championship. I'm going to tell them to fill up lanes for tomorrow. That's going to be number one. And they know what they've got to do, and I think we don't need to change anything. It's like I say, we've been very fortunate to stay healthy, and I think we're coming into this meet as healthy as we've been all year, and we don't need to make it any bigger than it is.
Dan O'Brien, ESPN. Coach Holloway, just miraculous. I'm not sure I've seen anything like it, but Grace Stark in the hurdles and the 60. Her recovery from that injury is nothing short than miraculous. What have been your thoughts over last year? How was she able to recover to this level? Because that's an injury that maybe you don't compete at this level again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when it first happened, it's concerning, but, Grace is one of the most driven people I've ever been around in my life. We have a phenomenal medical staff, training room staff, strength staff, Matt Delancey in the weight room, Yolanda Lawrence and her crew in the training room, and everybody's just been a vital part of it. And I think the biggest thing with Grace was she has a lot of faith, and she never gave up. And every day she'd come out and she'd work hard, and even when there were bumps in the road, she'd go back, she'd cry a little bit, and she'd come back and fight again the next day. So you talk about a great story. She's just not a great athlete, she's a great human being, and that's why she's running well again.
And how rewarding was it for you to see her win that SEC title?
Very rewarding. I mean, I'm not gonna make up stuff. I teared up a little bit. I did, because I was there in the trenches with her. I remember the days when she was afraid she couldn't do it again. And I remember the days, even now, she still has those moments where when the hurdles start rushing up on her, it's a little scary for her. So, but very, very satisfying and very emotional time for all of us.
Well, it's shipped over to the men now. You have a powerful squad here, and we knew it at SECs that you were more built for the national championship. What's been your message to your team coming into these championships?
I'm gonna bore you again. It's the same message, man. I mean, we have to be who we are, and we talk about this a lot. We can't do anything about the other teams. I can't pay somebody to go out and triple distance runners from NAU or block Wes's guys. I mean, the bottom line is we have to come here and do our job and put some points up on the board. And at the end of the day, like Mike said, you maximize your scoring opportunities, and at the end of the day, you hope they're better than everybody else. That's all you can do, really, to be honest with you.
Lara Overton with ESPN. Coach Johnson, for you, coming off of the team victory at SECs, what do you have to adapt to also put your team in a position to, from a team perspective, be in contention on that side? Because conference championship and national championship, winning comes two different ways in terms of how the points have to stack out.
Well, I think we have a complete team, and I just think that the young ladies have done a fantastic job in preparation for that. I don't think we changed much. I just think that we focus on what we can do and what we do best, and leave the rest for everybody to do whatever they need to do. Everybody comes here prepared. They want to do their best. We do too, and we feel like we prepared the young ladies to do that. But we understand that there's a task at hand. And all these coaches up here and the rest of the coaches in the country have done a fantastic job getting the athletes ready. So we have a great amount of respect for them and what they've been able to do. But I think we got to focus on us. We work together. We got to stay together. And, we don't think everything is going to go our way. How we're going to overcome those things if it doesn't go our way, that's more important for us right now. And that's our focus. And we've talked about that, and we prepared the young ladies for that. So it's really a matter of just going out, executing, having a great time, understanding that, hey, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. This team is never going to be the same again because people graduate, they move on, whatever the case may be. So let's enjoy each other right now. Enjoy this moment, enjoy Boston, enjoy this fantastic facility that we have here and the opportunity that God has presented us, and let's go out and have some fun.
For Chris, as long as I have it. You have so many kids in one event group. How do you make sure that they are building each other up and they're not competing every day and wearing each other out?
Well, I got Boogie Johnson for that. So, all in all, it's a competitive group. These young ladies are competitive. They understand each other. They train with each other each and every day. So we just tell them, hey, we're gonna give you the race plan that best fits you. You're gonna have to go out and execute that, and the chips fall where they may. Okay? We want all of you to win. We understand that can't happen, but we're preparing them for each and every individual in that event group to go ahead and win. And whatever happens, whoever executes the best on that day, in that moment, is gonna be able to be the champion. But we can't, overlook anyone that's in that race. The top 16 in the country, anything can happen, and stranger things have happened. So we got to get them prepared, not just to focus on themselves, but everyone else. But let's dial it in, and let's go out there and take care of business.
Well, you talked about race plan with, some of your athletes and changing those race plans. Everybody seems a little bit more fit this season, if that's even possible from last season, especially Amber Anning. She ran really even races in the last couple of years, but now she's going out harder. Was that something you guys were thinking about changing? Is that something she did? Is that something you guys talked about?
Well, I think she got fitter, she got leaner, and she understands the race a little bit better. As time goes by, as any athlete knows, they start to understand what the race requires. And if you want to run fast, there's certain things that you have to do. And to get faster is one of them. We run track, so obviously we want to run fast. So you have to get faster in doing that. And I think the staff and the strength coach and Boogie being there has helped address some of those things that we didn't quite do enough of in the past. And now that you kind of see the collaboration working to the betterment of the student athlete.
Anderson Emerald here again. Just a question for Mike Holloway. So throughout, seems like decades at this point, you've had so much diversity across all the
I
events.
think you just called me old.
Oh, no. I apologize. You have a lot of experience. But, I mean, Florida...
That sounds better.
Florida has so much diversity across all the different events. So I'm curious how you've been able to hone in on making sure everyone can focus on their individual events, but then come together as a team to support each other and become these champions.
And Chris alluded to a little bit too, none of us up here can do this by ourselves. I have a great staff, and I lean on them a lot. We talk a lot about the diversity that you're talking about. It's always been kind of a dream of mine to have better distance runners. I've got a coach now that's kind of honed in on that, and it's very helpful. And at the end of the day, when we're recruiting these athletes who sit in their living rooms, we sell them on a dream, we sell them on a path to success, and when they get on our campus, and it's our job to lead them down that path. So right now, we're in a very unique situation where we're broad-based on both sides, and honestly, that's been the plan for a while, and we plan to keep it going that way.
You all have potential Olympians on your team. You're looking at a number of athletes on each one of your squads that's gonna compete certainly in July and maybe into August. How do you balance what they're doing here during the season, but also keep in mind that there might be some bigger races at the end of the year. Coach, will start with you.
You got more than everybody else.
Well, I think that it's experience. So this is our first rodeo, and the staff is very, very important in that. Obviously, Taylor ran in the Olympics, and Boogie's coached a number of athletes that's been Olympians and Olympic champs and so forth and so on. So the experience plays the biggest factor in doing it. And it's been done before. And we've watched Mike go around the track and get Grant to do all these fantastic things through a collegiate season as well as World Championships and or Olympic season. So there are great examples there on my staff and within the conference. And obviously we know what kids have the ability, if you will, to last that long and endure that type of rigorous track schedule. So we prepare them. We're training them to get ready to do that. But we understand the assignment as we go through the NCAA process that this is what's most important. And we will prepare them. That kind of starts in the fall and kind of carries over from season to season. And they'll be ready, as they always are. And we've been able to do it with great leadership and great examples throughout our staff and throughout the country.
I just want to piggyback on that a little bit. I think that it's important for people to know that, while we're competitors, like I don't know Mike very well, but I've been friends with Wes for a long time. We've had conversations about training. At some point in time every week, I've had a conversation, whether it be a text message or whatever, with Chris, with Boogie, with Eddie Floriel, Mike Ford, Tim Hall. Like we're all close, and we're all competitive as well. So, it's a situation where we're pushing each other. We're learning from each other. We're always trying to reinvent the wheel, and if you're a part of this group of people, it's, that room gets a little crazy sometimes, so you think about those people I mentioned, and you add Daryl Anderson and Lonnie Green and that crew, man, it's just, we're all very competitive, and we push each other to be great, and it's just, you just can't exist in this space and not be a competitive human being, and we're all very competitive.
Yeah, I think one thing, getting specific, that I try not to do is run anybody over 2 weeks in a row. We don't run many people. If you're a 60, 200 guy, normally I run you a 60 1 week and the 200 the next, or that type thing, especially with those kids that are gonna go postseason and go longer. And I think all these guys do the same thing. We try not to over race too much indoors, even though it's unbelievably hard. You gotta qualify. Puts a lot of pressure. We have a little advantage, and Chris does too, having a track, and I think we can pick and choose how we do that. I think that helps a lot.
Okay.
The advantage I see in the Olympic year is that our athletes come out of NCAA competition just knowing how to compete. Running fast is not the same as competing, and championships require you to compete. I've seen so many years where pro athletes are, at least in my world, the distance world, particularly with the new World Athletic Standards, they've become very good at time trialing. Time trialing is not the same as racing. And so NCAA athletes that had to claw tooth and nail to make finals and get through rounds at their conference meet and the regional meet, and then finally the national meet, man, they get in that situation at the USA meet and it's all they've known. Whereas pro athletes sometimes are in those situations, and it's very different than what it's taken to get there in the first place. So, of course, it's a long year for NCAA athletes, but I do see so many advantages when it comes to competing. What you're about to see this weekend is the heart and soul of competing in our sport, and that, yeah, those guys are better than anyone at that when it comes to the Olympic trials or USA meet.
So this question is for all four of you. So what approach did you guys take that really allowed you guys to find those right pieces to benefit you guys coming into this weekend?
The portal has changed everything. We said it would, and it did. When you have a strong culture in place, you sell people on that culture, and the right people come in and certainly bring their individual flares to it, but they're focused on the right things when you have something strong in place.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with him. The transfer portal, of course, yeah, has changed everything. I think we haven't done any different approach, in all honesty, and I bet these guys have had the same problem. A good problem is people are calling us. And I think nearly every kid that we've had has reached out to us at least to show interest, and we're fighting with somebody else maybe for them. But I think, yeah, all these people have great cultures in their program, and I think kids are looking, when they're on the portal, they're looking for that. And we've been very fortunate to get some good kids.
Yeah, I agree, Wes. The portal is just part of the recruiting process now. And it's kind of a thing where, in the fall, you're going hard after the high school athletes out there, but you also know in the back of your mind, if you don't get everything you want then, there's, portal opened up a couple of days ago, it's full already. So, unfortunately for a lot of the portal athletes, there's never enough scholarships to take care of all the people in the portal. So you have to be careful. I think sometimes with Brooks Johnson, who's one of my mentors, has always said is, getting a transfer athlete is like buying a used car, just buying somebody else's problem. So you have to be careful with who you bring into your program and how do they fit your culture. And I think that's important. But when it comes to the portal and NIL, it's part of the world we live in. We better figure out a way to deal with it.
Well, my approach to the portal is we look at it as an opportunity. Some of these kids we might have recruited prior to, and they chose another school, and now it's another opportunity. And guess what? It's really, when a kid's transferring or we're recruiting a kid out of high school, it's really about a fit, okay? And so somewhere they go to another school, be it good, bad, or indifferent, it's not a fit. But when they come to Arkansas, we sit them down and we talk to them and say, this is what we do here. So if you don't want to do that, or you're not willing to make some changes or sacrifices, if you want to call it that, but we don't really call it sacrifice. This is what it takes to be successful, and this is the way we're going to do it. And if you understand that and you're willing to buy into that, then fantastic, okay? We're not going to build our program off transfer kids, but we will take some kids that are going to come in and enhance our program and work hard and get after it. So I think it's one of those things that all these coaches basically eloquently said, that, hey, it's a part of what we do now, and it's a part of recruiting, and it's a part of building a program. But I think it shouldn't be the mainstay in your program. It should really enhance what you already have, because you need those high school kids, you need those four-year kids. They're gonna be there because that is the culture of your program. And these kids are coming in and they have to learn the culture and make some adjustments and changes so they can be successful. And I think it's a second chance for those kids to get it right. And I think most of the time they feel that, hey, they messed up some sort of way, and now this is my second opportunity to start over. And guess what? We all make mistakes, and having an opportunity to do it over again, I think puts the kid in the best position to be successful.
Question, I guess, for the group is, and as well, we're at the NCAA's here in Boston. It's the first time, I think, in many, many years that we've had NCAA indoors in the Northeast. It's usually been in Arkansas, Texas A&M. I'm just curious if you find it as a benefit, the opportunity for your athletes to move around when it comes to these championships, or would you prefer it be at like one location, similar to like outdoors, we're very frequently at Oregon?
For me, and I can only speak for me, I like for it to move around a little bit. Obviously, coming here to Boston and being a part of this culture in this city, and obviously they've spent a ton of money in making this facility what it is, and you go out and look at it, it's beautiful. So it's exciting. I think it's exciting for the kids, it's exciting for the staff, and it's exciting for the sport to be able to bring it all around the country. What a big country we have, and how selfish would it be just to keep it in one spot. And I think this helps grow the sport, and I think it's very important to move it around, and our kids are excited to be here. And obviously it's a wonderful facility that more than likely we would never have an opportunity to compete in unless they have the national championship here. So we're looking forward to it, and we're excited about it.
I kind of agree with Chris. I think the moving the meet around, it just enhances the student athlete experience, and you know, we can beat that Eugene, Oregon thing to death, but I have no desire to go to Eugene, Oregon every year, and I'm gonna keep saying that to somebody who listens. But at the end of the day, I mean, we talk about the student athlete experience, and you know, coming here, we'll be in Virginia next year, and then I think we've been in New Mexico, we've been in Arkansas, we've been in College Station. It's a great experience. All those cities offer something different. We've been in Birmingham, right? So I think that's, again, part of what it's supposed to be. We don't have the National Basketball Championships the same place every year, or football every year. Those guys get to experience stuff, and I think our track athletes deserve the same thing.
Yeah, totally agree with these guys. I'm right with you. I think the athlete experience is great. I get that opportunity. I wish, as Mike said, ditto about Oregon. I wish we could move around a little bit more. And when people ask me where we're running, I'm saying, well, always at Oregon, I guess. But yeah, we go to Virginia Beach, we go back to Arkansas, you know, and we're moving around indoors. I really like that. I think it's just such a great experience for our kids.
Yeah, these guys all said it. Part of being a college athlete is getting to see the country. It's so wonderful to have our athletes here in Boston. I also think just for exposure for a sport, yeah, some little boy or little girl in the crowd this weekend is going to say, that's what I want to do when I go to college, you know, and I think that's just tremendous.
Coach, with you were here earlier in the season, how much of a benefit is that for you guys to open up your indoor season here just down the street? You get a chance to come over here and look at the facility. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime you get on the road and travel and, you know, lay down the template of how you're going to do this in a championship environment, it's huge, right? So we do a little, you know, dress rehearsal of what we're going to do, and the guys are ready for it when actually, you know, the time comes.
Quick question for all four of you. What is the biggest piece of advice that you gave to your athletes heading into this weekend?
Championship environments, we tell them not to try to win, not to focus on outcomes, but just to compete, and then the outcomes are a byproduct of competing.
Yeah, I mean, I said it a little bit earlier. They'll hear a lot tonight. I give my speech tonight, but in the team meeting. But yeah, be who you are. Do what you did to get here. I believe it. Like nearly all our marks, if they do their marks, they got coming in, then we'll be in the finals or we'll be on the top 8. But yeah, and just what promises did you make yourself at the beginning of the year? You know, and you're at a championship. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. For a lot of people, it's their last one, maybe their last one. So let's make hay with it.
You know, I'll be honest with you, we haven't really talked about it, and we probably won't talk about it. You know, we we start on day one, back in the fall, and we talk about the process and how we're gonna build and things. And I think when you get to this time of year, I know as a young coach, I made that mistake. You kind of talk to them too much, you tell them too much, and it kind of gets them, you know, you start saying things you haven't been saying, so they think that you think there's something wrong. So my message is gonna be what it is for every track meet. We're gonna go out, we're gonna warm up, we're gonna put the blocks down and go run. That's all we do.
When we talk to the young ladies, it's very simple. Be confident in who you are, okay, and go out and execute. That's just simple as that. We've started back in August, September, and we've been working towards this for a long time. So understand that if you got here, you're prepared, and you earned it, and it wasn't given. So be confident in who you are and the work that you put in, and let's go out and execute. That's basically simple as it gets.
Coach Holloway, what's with the pink shirts on Thursday? You know, seen you guys do this a couple
It's
times.
something that the ladies started a while back, and obviously no breast cancer awareness. And so earlier this fall, I think it was Nick Peterson decided he was going to wear a pink shirt to practice, and all of a sudden the whole men's team decided to join in. So every Thursday you come to games when everybody's got a pink shirt on. So we just brought it with us on the road.
Nice.
And by the way, Boogie Johnson wants one. He let me know that already today. We're gonna send him one in the mail next month. Size medium, right?
Parker, you did most of the.
Say mic drop. Especially since Mike is Mike.
Thank you.
Although there is another mic. Do you go by Mike? Okay.
Parker, you asked most of the questions in the last session. Do you have any final questions for these guys?
No, I think you've had them here long enough. I think they're ready to go.
I agree. So gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll ask, we'll move the chair
Good
to
luck.
stand for a quick photo.